For sensitive areas, such as hospitals, kindergartens, schools, balconies, and buildings, with air conditioning in operation, waterproofing must meet specific standards. Our two-component KEMPEROL 2K-PUR waterproofing is the ideal match for this. The all-purpose liquid waterproofing is solvent-free, odorless, and perfectly suited to waterproofing, even complex shapes and details without any problems, providing long-term protection. How easily and quickly KEMPEROL 2K-PUR can be applied on a roof can be seen right from the preparation. For the application, you need our KEMPEROL 2K-PUR waterproofing, the KEMPEROL 165 fleece, the KEMPERTEC EP5 primer with natural quartz for scattering, the KEMCO ME cleaning agent, and corresponding accessories. Always wear personal protective equipment during application. Before application, please check the recommendations regarding our KEMPEROL 2K-PUR primer and prepare the substrate for priming work. Clean the surface to be waterproofed with a broom or industrial vacuum cleaner. Remove impurities on metal parts, such as greases and oils, with the KEMCO ME cleaning agent. Then roughen them mechanically with a grinding machine. Now mask all areas that are not to be primed. If the substrate to be waterproofed has cracks or joints that are suitable for grouting, simply fill them with our KEMCO gum joint sealer. Now you can start to apply the KEMPERTEC EP5 primer. Please note the application must always take place at temperatures above 5 degrees Celsius and when the temperatures are falling. To facilitate detail work, the product is supplied in practical sachets so that you can apply the primer section by section. The sachets have two chambers filled with components A and B of the primer. First, remove the center seam and then mix the two components by vigorously shaking until a homogeneous mixture with a uniform color is obtained. Now place the contents of the sachet into a container. Ensure that the sachet is completely emptied, and then stir the contents in the container thoroughly. Start priming the edges and the details. Always apply the material until the surface is completely saturated. To ensure the panels are joined securely, place a reinforcement strip along the joints. Depending on the absorbency of the substrate, you will need between 300 and 500 grams per square meter. Now prime the entire surface. For this purpose, thoroughly mix components A and B of the KEMPERTEC EP5 primer. Add component B to the container of component A, and then empty the container completely using a wooden stirrer. Stir both components thoroughly, using a slow-running mixing device. To avoid mixing errors, the mixer should be placed into another container and thoroughly stirred again. Now apply the material evenly in a crisscross fashion, using a nylon roller until all the pores are filled. Rework the details with a nylon roller until every detail is thoroughly covered with the primer. Remove the masking tape while the primer is still wet. The KEMCO natural quartz scattering is now applied as UV protection and a bonding agent. Scatter it, ensuring a grain-to-grain homogeneous surface. Repeat the priming and scattering section by section until the entire surface is covered. After approximately 6 hours, the surface can be walked on and be waterproof with KEMPEROL 2K-PUR. Next, cut the fleece elements for waterproofing details, or use preformed fleece element. Before you start applying the waterproofing, again, mask all surfaces that are not to be waterproofed. The surface must not be swept again, and excess scattering must be removed. As with the KEMPERTEC EP5 primer, the material is packed in practical sachets to facilitate detail work. Here too, component A and component B must be mixed until a homogeneous compound is achieved. Then start to apply the waterproofing to the detail areas. Apply approximately 2/3 of the material and place the cut fleece elements wet on wet to the details to be waterproofed, ensuring there are no gaps or bubbles. When processing wet on wet, always make sure that you have sufficient material ready at hand. Then add the remaining third of the mixture and immediately remove any masking tape. Once all the details have been thoroughly waterproofed, continue treating the surface. Here too, mix components A and B thoroughly as you did with the primer. To avoid mixing errors, the mixture should be placed into another container and stirred again. When applying outside temperatures between 5 degrees and 10 degrees Celsius, add our KEMPEROL 2K-PUR Speed Shot to component A as well. Now apply approximately 2/3 of the material and distribute evenly with a nylon roller. Place the fleece sheets into the still wet waterproofing, ensuring the fleece sections have a 5 cm overlap. Apply section by section, wet on wet, and use a roller to prevent the formation of bubbles. The waterproof surface is rainproof after just 2 hours and can be walked on and receive the next coat after 16 hours. At an outside temperature of 23 degrees Celsius, expect a processing time of approximately 30 minutes. Please note that wind, humidity, and rising temperatures may influence this,